Hello and welcome to episode 189 of The Pitcher or the Hitter, the podcast by the M-SABR Dynasty League for the M-SABR Dynasty League. I am Cam,
Sahil.
and it was kind of a wild week. A lot of upsets, a couple matchups that were close at the end, but there were some big shakeups into the standings after this week 8.
Yeah, we have one undefeated team after 8 weeks, or not undefeated, but one team who has not lost a game after 8 weeks, and it is Ruthvik. Who the hell saw that coming?
Who would have seen that? This week is going to be a very busy week for him, so he may not be checking his lineup a ton. Maybe this is the week it ends against Anthony, um, who ju is just coming off his own first win of the year. But yeah, Ruthvik's team 6-0-2.
Yeah, my God, it's so I will be at his wedding on Sunday night, right? And they're stuck going on the Sunday night. And it'll be the end of Toxic Week. So I've now spent the end of Toxic Week once in Spain, and or once at Ruthvik's wedding. So this is going to be something. But I might in the middle of the wedding festivities shout out the score to him. I hope his soon-to-be wife doesn't mind. I haven't met her yet, so it'll be a great first impression.
I'm sure she loved that, you talking about your own fantasy baseball matchup during her wedding
Oh,
out
100%.
loud.
100%. I feel like, when I'm getting married, I feel like if one
Wedded.
dude doesn't interrupt the ceremony with like a trade offer, I'd be mad. Like I think I might have to delay the wedding to figure out if I want to take it or not. You know.
I mean, that's putting everything on pause to negotiate a trade. I wouldn't put it past you.
Yeah, I have negotiated trades in some weird places, and just God, oh wait, I have a really good story. Oh no, I already told you in the chat. Never mind. I already told everybody I saw Andrew Kittredge in the elevator. I
Wait, I
told him
don't
on my
think I
story.
saw that. I don't think I saw that chat.
Yes. Okay, so I was coming home yesterday. I flew home, and I'm getting into an elevator at the airport, and um guys walking out. I'm like, you got an Oriole bag and has a tag and it's got the number on it. And I'm like, huh, like this looks familiar. This guy looks familiar. And I look at the number and then I see the name on his ticket. And I'm like, oh, holy shit, it's Andrew Kittredge. And it makes sense because he was in Norfolk for his rehab assignment and the flight from Norfolk just landed. So I think he was on that
Ah,
flight, and just got his stuff. And I think he got to the airport and was waiting there to accompany the Orioles to Milwaukee, where they're now losing because they're the Orioles. What else do they do? As Ryan O'Hearn hits into a double, nope, not a double play, but that still is good for you because I own him. But yeah, I did see Andrew Kittredge, so uh, maybe
it's exciting. Maybe if you had stayed at the airport long enough, you would have seen the rest of the Orioles
yeah.
and their new interim manager.
Yeah, my God. I will never forget where I was when that move came down. I was right outside. I was about to take a picture of my sister's graduation and all of a sudden that news pops up and I'm like, holy shit. God, that was wild. Um just I feel bad for him, right? Like I don't think Brandon Hyde's a bad dude or anything, and I don't think he's a terrible manager, but the team was playing with no fundamentals and they looked lifeless. Like at some point it kind of falls on you. He'll land on his feet. He's got a good enough resume, even if it's not as a manager immediately. He'll be top a bunch of lists to be on people's coaching staffs. But I hear the Rockies and the Pirates need a new manager, so
How about that? Yeah,
yeah.
I think yeah, Brandon Hyde, Rockies manager.
Yeah,
Heard it here first.
I wish Terry Francona was available this off season. I would love to have had him, but you know,
Well, just
uh,
how it goes. Yeah, I think I like what Terry Francona has been doing. It's hard to tell really, but I feel definitely unchanged about him to start the season at least.
I have two early picks I want, and then we'll get into the actual league here. But it's Skip Schumacher. I'd love for him to come on, but I wonder if he's kind of going to be the successor to Bruce Bochy in Texas, and if that's kind of like uh, just an arrangement they have because he's like a special advisor right now there.
That's
Um,
that's what it sounds like to me.
yeah, I think so. And then the other one is former Oriole legend Ryan Flaherty, who's been on the coaching staff in
Really?
San Diego. Yeah.
That's a name. Wow.
I think he'd be a really good manager, and I know he was in consideration for the Padres job when they fired who they have. It was it AJ Preller they had.
Was it, or probably was the GM, was it Mike Schilt managing?
Schultz who they have now. That's who he
Schilt's
lost out to.
now.
But
Oh, was it
who's the Giants manager now? It's whoever that guy.
oh, Bob Melvin.
Yeah, Bob Melvin. Yeah, yeah. So
Ryan Flaherty, if I recall correctly, is from Maine,
yes,
uh,
yes,
which is fun. There would be if he gets the job, there would be a manager from Maine and a manager from Rhode Island,
yep. Oh yeah.
which
Uh,
love to see.
in any event, enough of me bitching about the Orioles. You'll see enough of that in the chat. But let's you want to dive into these matchups here?
Let's dive in. There were a lot of interesting ones here. We should probably start out with yours against Eric because you were dead in the water all week, or at least you were saying you were dead in the water. You clearly were not because you took the lead at one point on Sunday, and in the end, Eric was able to just narrowly pull it out 6-5-1 and keep alive the dream of going 18-2-2.
Yeah, so I chatted you on Saturday morning about something that I passed by. You remember what I passed by?
Not Andrew Kittredge.
Mount Trashmore.
Yes, Mount
Yes.
Trashmore.
And then I think that accurately describes my pitching and my hitting for most of the week. The fact that I had a 6.69 ERA and a 153 whip, and I almost won this matchup, and was a Jason Dominguez run in the eighth inning of Sunday Night Baseball from tying Erik is a miracle. The offense really showed up the last 2 days. I was ultimately undone by two moves. One was I picked up Justin Verlander to stream. I only cared about the strikeouts. I didn't even need him to get that many. I needed him to get more than one strikeout to tie. Sure enough, he gets exactly one strikeout against the A's. And I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. Now, it came out after the game that he was hurt. He was down 3 miles per hour in his velocity. He's got some pec issue now. And if I had known that, I would not have started him. But that's how it goes. The second thing that I did that I wish I had didn't was the day after the Orioles fired Brandon Hyde. It was a Saturday game. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start Ryan O'Hearn over Drake Baldwin. Baldwin's been on a tear, but O'Hearn's been hitting well too. And I'm like, you know what? Orioles are going to come out reinvigorated against after with Hyde fired. It's going to light a fire under them. Um, and it did not. They were down. They got Kyle Gibson. He gave up 6 runs in the first inning. They lost 10-6. Kyle Gibson got DFA'd after the game, so thank fucking God for that. I saw one of his 4 starts live this year, and I think that's probably it for his major league career. But uh, we gave him 5.25 million right before opening day, and he gave us 4 starts of like a 16.8 ADRA. He like Giovanni did, except like we gave him real money. We didn't just sign him to like a minor league deal. So, uh, you know, God, Gibson might be the modern day Giovanni, but uh,
Well, Giovanni's career was not over when he got DFA'd by the Reds after that 30-86, so maybe Kyle Gibson will be the same.
uh, so this just means he's gonna hook on with the team he was with a couple of teams before. So maybe he goes back to the Twins. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, it just if I had started Baldwin over O'Hearn, I would have tied. And if I had started Verlander or any pitcher over Verlander, I would have won. But whatever. Uh, Hitting really picked it up. I'm really happy about that. My pitching is fucking terrifying me. I thought Nola and Gallen were getting better. Nola's on the IL now. Gallen got Rockied because apparently the Rockies are good. I don't know. And my only good pitchers right now are Max Fried and Robbie Ray. It's sad. This is where we're at. Um, and you could talk about Eric's team. Ugh, just I'm ugh. This team.
Yeah, I will say it's fun to see after all these years Justin Verlander is still deciding matchups between top teams in our league. That is a tough break though for you there. Um, yeah, Eric beat you 6-5-1. You both hit kind of equally well. Both had pretty good hitting weeks. But Eric's pitching, on the other hand, unlike yours, was spectacular. He uh, had a great two-start week from Grant Holmes, who um, got two quality starts. Eric is finally starting to figure out his quality start issues. He had seven this week, but Grant Holmes was great. He had two of them, 12 and a third innings, nine Ks, and allowing three runs. Uh, Great start he got from Chris Sale. Great start from Jacob deGrom and Nick Martinez. Who did he cut and brought back, it looks like.
Yep,
And
that's correct.
he's been having he's had four good starts in a row actually. So good for him. Great start from Corbin Burns for Eric as well. Hitting side though, I think we gotta give matchup MVP to Jose Ramirez, who, though they got swept by the Reds, Jose Ramirez had a really solid week. He scored seven runs, hit three homers, and stole three bases as well with a 440 OBP. I'd like to give a shout out to Marcelo Zuna, though. Elliot Ramos uh, is had a really solid week as well, and Otani hit four homers. Drove in nine runs. So yeah, great week for Eric. A couple tough breaks for you.
Yeah, you know what though? I wasn't gonna win every game. I recognize that. But and also, what I will say is that I did build up kind of a nice buffer uh with racking up those early wins. So I'm now 7-1. And I'm still at least two games ahead of everybody but Ruthvik, who I'm now tied with in the standings. So I mean it's. Is it annoying? Yes, like it would have been nice. I would have gone up functionally 4.5 games ahead of Eric, and that would have made it really hard for him to move above me in the standings. He's now as a 2 game advantage, or I now only have a 2 game advantage over him, but um, I'll be fine. I got to figure out the starting pitching. It's still an issue. I thought I had it solved a couple of weeks ago, and everybody got a quality start, but against Alex, but you know, it's just how it goes.
It
Um,
is just how it goes. And yeah, Eric moves up to 4-2-2.
One other thing
Um,
I'll add about Eric before we move on is looks like he is finally wanting to move Marcel Ozuna after realizing that Brent Rooker isn't going to get outfield eligibility. So when Nick Kurtz came up, or when he was about to come up, they put Rooker in the outfield a little bit. But then when came up, they decided that Tyler Soderstrom should just be out there in the outfield and Rooker should stay as the DH. So it doesn't look like Rooker's getting outfield eligibility anytime soon, still leaving him with that three DH conundrum. So maybe that's the first big domino to fall into trade market. Um, we'll have to see.
yeah, we shall see. Let's move on. There's a lot of interesting ones here. Why don't we talk? Anthony finally got his first win of the year, and it came at the expense of EBO, surprisingly enough.
Yeah. I did not see this coming. But Anthony had a great week on the mound. won all six pitching categories. It wasn't like EBO had a bad week on the mound, but Anthony was just better. 78 Ks, six quality starts, six saves, three holds, 261 ERA, 105 WHIP. Only offensive categories he won were doubles and OBP, but that was more than enough for him to get the win. So EBO hit pretty well. One runs, homers, ribbies, stolen bases, like all with good numbers. They just it's kind of one of those tough luck losses. Like I feel like there's probably a fair amount of teams that would have beat this week, but Anthony just was a bit better across the board and kind of a tough luck loss for them. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, no, ABO had a really strong hitting week this week in the loss. They drove in 54 runs. They stole nine bases. The pitching was just kind of average. I mean, CJ Abrams had a great week. He is looking like, kind of how he looked at the start of last season. So good for him there. Um, uh, Pete Crow Armstrong drove in 10 runs this week with a 462 on base percentage. So I don't know how this is happening, um, but he's having a good season somehow. Uh, On to Anthony's team, though. The hitting, yeah, like you said, did just enough. Alec Burleson had a strong week with a couple of homers. Miguel Vargas was player of the week. Drove in six runs, hit three homers. Um, but it was really the pitching that was fantastic. He had a 2.6 ERA, a 1.046 WHIP. He had six quality starts and six saves. Um, and he got saves from four different relievers, which is always something that's nice to see. Um, on the mound, though, Tyler Mahle was great. He's been having a surprisingly strong season. Him and PCA, each team's one of their top players was someone that I cut last season. So that's a bummer. But matchup MVP though has to go to Skeens. He had two quality starts as well, but with a better ERA, better WHIP, and he struck out 15.
Dude, I'm glad for Anthony's sake that we're not a wins league because I think I don't know how many wins Skeens has, but it's like basically nothing. The run support that Skeens has been getting has been awful. But
Looks like he's 3-5 this year with a 2.44 ERA.
yeah, that's fucking awful.
That's bad.
I feel bad for him. He needs to be rescued. Uh, trade him to a team that actually deserves him, that'll actually spend money. So not the Orioles. As long as Michael Eyes is there, but can you tell I'm salty?
You are quite salty. It's funny. I feel like there's been a lot of like, oh, Paul Skeens isn't having that great of a season buzz, but that's just not true. He's having a great season.
I think he sets such high expectations. I think that's really what it is. I think he had a couple starts that were like only okay at the beginning of the year. But
Yeah,
yeah, or maybe it's the record. You still have those people who look at the pitching record to decide if somebody's having a good year or not, which is really dumb. But uh,
right. Yeah, that's definitely could be part of it. But yeah, nice win for Anthony to improve to 1-5-2. Um, no longer winless. There's only one winless team left. We'll get to them later. All right, there was another really big upset here as well, and that is Connor coming away with an 8-3-1 victory over Jake. I Yeah, definitely would not have expected that the way Connor's team has been this year, and with Jake being, I mean, a two-time champion, but also having a pretty solid start to the season himself.
solid start, but he is now 1-4 in his last five games, and almost lost to Alex at the beginning of the year too. He needed a miracle start by Pivetta, and then he has the tie against Ruthvik. The win over Erik is really carrying him as an impressive win. He's got a win over Andrew, but none of those wins are really dominating. This is I can't imagine Jake is super stoked with the start of the season he's had.
Yeah, I get that, and he definitely did his best to try and win this. He used all eight starts and was able to narrowly win quality starts. but the hitting was just really lousy this week. 34 runs, 7 homers, 35 RBI, sub 330 on base. It was just tough out there for everyone on his team besides like Ivan Herrera.
Yeah, um, it was brutal.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Connor didn't hit much better. He had a pretty good on base percentage and hit 13 homers, but the runs and RBIs weren't that much better. But where he shined was in the pitching side of things. He only used 7 starts, but 6 of them were quality starts. And he just kind of had one of those weeks that he would have occasionally a couple of years ago. 1.18 ERA and a 0.825 whip. That's just nasty work.
yeah, and it's funny because it doesn't seem that impressive because of that one week he had a few years back where he just went like absolute like sub one ERA and like a sub 7.5 ERA, I think, and a sub 7.5 whip. Just absolutely nasty stuff. But yeah, it was a good showing from Connor. I know we've been kind of giving him a little bit of flack at the beginning of the year, but he's showed an ability to uh put up the occasional good performance here, and we've gone over his team. There's definitely a couple quality players on here, and it's weeks like this where yeah, his team's down in the dumps, but it gives him some hope that he can come back up from this. He's done it once. His team looked this bad at the beginning of the league, thanks to us, and now and then he made it to finals. So we'll see how it goes, but quality win for him. Jake's team looks like an absolute mess right now, but
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, Connor's pitching led by really good 2 starts from Brian Wu, 13 and a third innings and 1 earned run. And then Merrill Kelly is going to be matchup MVP, 14 innings, 1 earned run, 19 strikeouts over 2 quality starts. Um, I shut out the Rockies over 7 innings and had 7 1 earned innings against the Giants, who have actually been good this year. So really strong uh, Merrill Kelly performance to lead this team.
yeah, Merrill Kelly has quietly been good after like a rough first start of this season. I think like it's against the Cubs this year, he's been really bad, but against everybody else, he's been really good. So good for him.
Yeah, and on the hitting side, I mean, I love what Gavin Lux has been doing all year. That's been great for Connor. Um, Eric Wagaman um, is someone Connor actually picked up as a free agent a couple weeks ago. And he, had a pretty good week. I gotta say, Eric Wagaman. Um, and and yeah, just kind of did enough on the hitting side and benefited from a tough time from Jake. And Jake drops to 3-4-1 now and falls out of playoff position.
Yeah, he gets Strider back tomorrow. That should help, although, this is still a guy who's coming off of Tommy John and now a hamstring injury, so who knows what he's going to look like. But then Acuna is also on his way back too. He looks pretty good in his rehab assignment. So there are some pretty good reinforcements coming, but I mean, he needs to this team needs to get it going, especially on the hitting side fast because things are spiraling out of control.
No, and this was one he needed to win. You can't be dropping games like this if you're in a playoff push.
No, exactly. And yeah, the margin for error is very thin, and there are quality teams here that are, really gunning for those spots. So yeah, he has his work kind of cut out for him. I think a trade of some sort is definitely needed.
No, and he's definitely been active on the trade market. Um, we'll see if something comes of that. Yeah, anything else on these 2 teams before we move on?
No. No, I think we can move on.
Well, all right. Why don't we talk about Yuki versus Andrew? It's definitely definitely an upset. I did predict it, just because Andrew's been kind of sliding here following a 3-0 start. He has not won since, and Yuki's just kind of puts together good weeks, and he put together a hell of a week this week, especially on the hitting side.
Yeah, I don't really get why Andrew's struggling so much. I still think this is a quality team, and I'm a little confused by how things have played out. But I mean, it was a fantastic week for Yuki, and I know we've been talking about Ruthvik being a really surprising team, having a great start to the season. But I mean, Yuki is too. It's flying a little under the radar. He dominated offensively this week. 61 runs, 22 homers, 50 ribbies, 11 steals. I wonder if any of this is a record for him. I think his home run record was 13, or not 13, 23, but it was 23. Yeah, he didn't set any records this week, but he certainly came close in a number of categories. Um, Now you have five quality starts and four saves. I mean, the ERA and WHIP weren't great, but he did enough on the hitting side to certainly get the win over Andrew, um, who the 3.24 ERA, not bad, but it was a high WHIP, and then just not a good week offensively at all.
No, definitely not. Yeah, only scoring 32 runs and 37 RBI for Andrew with a OBP below 320. Yeah, like you said, the pitching was fine. I mean, he got a couple strong starts from Matthew Liberator, his big acquisition. Um, and then like Chris Bassett made a good start as well, but he did end up getting paddocked. Yuki though, what a week on the hitting side. Uh, Corbin Carroll is just off to a really solid start this season. And he stole four bases and hit three homers this week, scoring seven times. Mason Wynn had a good on base percentage. Brandon Lau, a really strong week. And uh, after a kind of a slow start to the season, uh, Isaac Paredes hit three homers as well. He is definitely heating up. Um, And then yeah, some solid contributing performances from Lourdes Gurriel and Alex Bregman. I think I'm gonna give match of MVP to Carroll though, just contributing all across the board.
Yeah, that's well deserved. He's been on a tear this year, really proving that last year at the shoulder was an anomaly. Um, yeah, it's just I'm eating a little bit of crow here because I didn't expect him to be this good. I thought the shoulder until he had surgery would be an issue, kind of like with Tatis when he had a shoulder injury. I was concerned about it until he actually had the surgery, but uh, yeah, I mean, there you go. Good for Carroll, good for Yuki. Diamondbacks are flying high right now.
Yeah, Diamondbacks are flying high. Yuki is flying high. He is in looks like he's in that three-way tie for third right now with EBO and Erik, and we'll see if he can keep it up.
Yeah, I think he will definitely be in the playoff mix. That is for sure.
Yeah, well, it's a year that Anthony's not in the playoff mix, so therefore Yuki is in the playoff mix.
What was it? It's every other year. It's like one of them's in, it alternates. So was that
It
it or
yeah, basically it alternates. It's always one of them, but never both.
Jesus?
Yeah, that's something I've found very interesting. Um, yeah, yeah, Yuki's 5-3. Um, yeah, any other words on this matchup before we get into our next one?
No. Let's move on to the next one. Which one do we want to talk about next?
I guess we can talk. Let's talk about the closer one here. We now have one remaining undefeated team and one remaining winless team. Um, Ruthvik managed a 7-4-1 victory over Alex. He maybe had Ruthvik maybe had the worst hitting week of any team in the league, uh, but the pitching was so good he was able to pull it out and um, avoid dropping this one.
Yeah, this is why I'm concerned that this is not completely sustainable for that reason, right? I mentioned a week or two ago when he made the Adolis trade that he told me off air that he's hoping he can win speed and win the pitching categories and that kind of be enough. He's not really worried about power or OBP necessarily, and Uh, 8 stolen bases, right? Right. A lot of these speed guys hit doubles. He got the 15 doubles. He won 5 of the 6 pitching categories, but like I was enough against Alex, right? He won 7-4 to 1. Is not going to be enough when he plays me, when he plays Erik. Now that Erik's heated up and not like Erik was playing when he played in week 2, when he plays a team like you. So I just don't know. He is in the easy part of his schedule. It is going to get tougher, but I can't ignore what he's done so far. It's been a fantastic season for Ruthvik. When I did the roto a couple weeks ago, he was second. This is a legitimate start to the season. He is just on a tear from a pitching perspective. And we'll see. I think he's definitely put himself in a nice position to potentially be a playoff team in the early going. So.
Yeah, he definitely has. He's doing, yeah, the hitting was worse this week than it's been in previous weeks, and it's been in the past it was definitely passable, if not great, but not this week. The pitching though was on another level. With the 189 ERA, 101 WHIP, quality start from Colin Ray, um, who he picked up at the start of the week and used twice.
He had
Um,
like the White Sox and the Marlins this week, I think it was. Like he had like a perfect like setup Colin rated.
yeah, no, that's it's a great couple matchups there. Um, Jose Barrios, he got a quality start, but also got blown up. Logan Webb made a strong start. I guess matchup MVP, um, because there's really no one on the hitting side besides, I guess, possibly Bo Bichette. I guess we can give matchup MVP to Joe Ryan, who's nine shutout innings, or excuse me, six shutout innings with nine Ks, um, were just kind of emblematic of how his team pitched all week.
Ryan's been on a tear to start the year. He's looking like an ace.
No, he was a great get for Ruthvik for sure. Yeah, that's four straight quality starts with two combined runs allowed. He got blown up by Atlanta earlier, but other than that and a shaky start against Houston, he's been money.
Yeah. No, those twin starters, like him and Ober, seem to have the occasional blow up, but are otherwise just really solid. Of course, Ober was trending that way today, and then the fucking rain in Minnesota is really just doing me in. But yeah.
Yeah. That is tough. We will talk about this week's matchup soon. Um, yeah, as for Alex, he's 0-8 now. There were some things to like on the hitting side. He had 16 homers. Javi Baez is hitting well. Alex, he's making moves. He picked up Will Benson, had who's on a tear right now.
NL
Um,
Player of the Week.
NL Player of the Week, Will Benson. Yes, since getting called up, um, he is just, yeah, homering every day.
Did he start the
He'll
season in the minors?
so he started opening day in the majors, went 0 for 4 with four strikeouts, then was sent right down and then got called back up at the start of this week.
Huh. Okay. I just assumed he's been up the whole time.
No, no, he's been down most of the time.
Good.
So good for him. He goes on stretches like this. So it's um nice to see him on a heater now, and it's been much needed to get the Reds
Yeah.
hopefully back up to 500 if they can hold on against the Pirates today.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they will. They're up 4-1 right now. And Colin Holderman is pitching. Colin Holderman is not good. So
Remember when he was though?
what?
Remember when he was good though?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when he was getting all the holds, man.
He was at one point.
It's a 7.90 ERA on
Ugh.
the year, and he's got runners on first and third. Ironically, Benson's on third. Speaking of the Reds, I tagged you in this, but you didn't respond. Did you see that a Reds player hit a pigeon today in batting practice?
Yeah, I heard you say that. I guess I didn't have anything to respond with, but it doesn't at least immediately seem to be bad luck.
Yeah, he I heard conflicting reports. One was that the pigeon died, And the other was out the pigeon was on life support. And I'm guessing he died, and John Boy Media is wrong, but he's not on life support. But what would I know?
What would you know? Yeah, life support's a funny,
Life
funny
support
way to
for
describe it. But yeah.
yeah, this is like Randy Johnson Jr. over here. If you had to guess, which Reds hitter do you think hit him?
Ooh, that I, ooh, uh, I guess it depends on which part of the field the pigeon was in, but maybe Reese Hines.
I'm gonna put my money on Lowell Benson. He's hitting all these home runs, right? He might as well be hitting pigeons too.
Hmm? Maybe it'll come out one of these days. Um, but yeah, let's talk about the final matchup here. I beat the jury 10 to 1 to 1. It was nice to have kind of a week where I didn't have to worry too much. My only concern was like if I could maybe make it 12 nothing. Um, my pitching, I had some rough starts early in the week, but I was able to kind of battle back, win quality starts, win whip, have a great whip. Um, win despite a low strikeout number. I only had 8 starts this week. And I just kind of was able to get it done. My hitting is still fantastic. It was a big doubles week instead of a home runs week. But yeah, I'm 4-3-1 now, and I over the last 5 games have a better record over that time than everyone besides Ruthvik.
Yeah. You are you were 0-3 and sulking and being a little bitch, and then you run off 4 straight wins, and now you're in playoff position for the first time all year. So I mean, it, it's what I told you. You were always going to be perfectly fine, and you are. So congrats.
Yeah, I'm just kind of having the opposite season that Andrew's having. Andrew started out 3-0 and now he's 3-4-1. So we're just kind of going in opposite directions there. And I think
One season.
what's yeah helping me out is it's just a lot of guys who had slow starts. Max Muncy and Alec Boehm were both having dreadfully slow starts, and they're heating back up now finally.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, and to
Yeah,
go down the list of guys, great week for Judge, great week for Soto. Juan Soto stole 3 bases this week, which I don't know if he's stolen 3 bases in his life, but I got 3 steals from Juan Soto. He won that category for me. Um, great week for Jonathan India. Alec Boehm, I mentioned him, but he hit a homer and had a good on base. Max Muncy drove in 9 runs this week with a 429 OBP. Great week for James Wood. Great week for Vlad. Bogarts. I think matchup MVP, though, has to go to Zach Neto, just edging out Muncy because he scored 7 times, drove in 7 runs, and hit 3 homers and 3 doubles. I am, yeah, I've entertained offers in the past for Zach Neto, but I'm, glad to call him part of my future core along with James Wood and Jackson Merrill.
yeah, I remember when I talked you out of trading him. Welcome.
Yeah, no, I didn't panic, thankfully. And now I have, oh, I made a trade this week that we forgot to mention at the top, by the way.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, we should probably talk about that.
yeah, I own Ben Brown now. I traded a second for him. Andrew was kind of looking to move on from him. He's got a lot of starting pitchers and Ben Brown was kind of getting BABIP to start the year. The ERA had been kind of a run and a half, 2 runs above his FIP to start the season. I figured I'd take a chance on him. He's 25 years old. He's a former top 40 to 50 prospect, and he had a really solid season last year. It didn't work out this year, or this start at least. He got blown up in his first start on my team against a bad Marlins team, but I like what I've seen from Ben Brown, and uh, hoping that he can be my next young starting pitcher who is good.
Yeah, not a great start today against the Marlins, but he certainly is a talent. I like what I've seen so far generally. I think definitely has some potential. Very cheap price to figure that out. If he busts, then it's just
It's a
it's not
late second,
gonna
yeah.
hurt. Right. So I think this is a good pickup by you. Um, and yeah, I think I think, it's a little interesting to me given Andrew's injuries at starting pitcher that he was willing to trade one away, but I know he does have a lot of talented ones kind of still uh, on the mend. So maybe he just saw this as an opportunity to get some value now and make some room for those guys. So um yeah,
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, that's about all I have to say on my team this week. Anything else about any of these matchups before we dive into next week?
uh yeah, I can't think of anything. It was just crazy the number of upsets that we saw. I don't remember a week where we saw as many upsets as we did this week.
Yeah, I don't think so. There were two big ones, and then then a third decent one, and then art you could argue that Eric over you was an upset as well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, there's yeah, arguably four upsets, and then and Alex sure came close against Ruthvik too.
Yeah. No, and it wasn't like, oh hey, like other than me and Eric, none of them were really like on the last day. It was like Connor was leading Jake pretty much all week. And ditto with Yuki over Andrew. So I mean it was just crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely a crazy week, lots of twists and turns, and we will see if week nine lives up to how this week went. It is, ladies and gentlemen, Toxic Week.
Toxic Week Part 2.
Yeah, two early Toxic Weeks this year, then I'm done with you. I'll have played, uh, I'll have gotten out my both of my matchups against, arguably against our number one power ranking team and our number 12 power ranking team. I'll be done with both of them by the end of May.
Yeah, I guess if we did power rankings now, I was not number one the last time we did our power
Oh, I
rankings,
guess,
but
yeah, I guess that's true. And I guess Daniel wouldn't be number 12 either, but
you're done with EBO too, right?
I am done with EBO. Yeah, so it's really been an unbalanced schedule. I have not played Andrew or Ruthvik yet. So it's definitely been interesting, the randomness of the schedule this year.
Yeah, it's much better than in the early years where everybody would just have the same schedule and then it would repeat. I think the last time we did that was 21.
I
And
think so, and yeah, we got rid of the divisions after that.
yeah, I think we might have gotten rid of the divisions even a little before that, but we kept the repeating schedule because ESPN, if you don't change it, that's what they do. They'll just repeat it.
Maybe.
But yeah, Toxic Week definitely one to watch. It's always one to watch, and me coming off of a loss, I'm sure I'm gonna be extra toxic, more so than usual. Although the last Toxic Week was pretty damn toxic. It is night and day. The last Toxic Week, what did I think I dropped you to 0 and 3, uh, and you haven't lost since Toxic Week.
I have not, yeah. And I would have beaten you each of the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Um,
I haven't been as sharp the last couple weeks. So I'm unlike last time where I was playing well and you were playing like shit. You're kind of catching me where I lost against Eric, albeit I almost came back, and then the week before against Daniel and Matt, I won 11-1, but didn't play that well. And you've kind of been soaring. I mean, your wins have looked really good recently. I'm a little nervous.
yeah, well, we'll pick them soon. Other matchups, I guess we've kind of declared that to be the matchup to watch. Um, it's yeah, really the only super interesting one. Eric versus Andrew. If Andrew was playing the way he was the first couple weeks, this could have been a contender for matchup to watch. But uh, hopefully for Andrew's sake, if he pulls something off, it could get him right back into that playoff picture, though.
Yeah, it's a really big week for Andrew. I don't think his team is as bad as it's been playing or over the last 5 weeks. I'm genuinely baffled uh by the results that he's been getting. But we'll see. Maybe this isn't a team that's going to compete for a bye, but I do think when it's all said and done, they'll be in the playoffs. Um, I don't know if I could say that, and I could definitely say that about Erik. So Erik just needs to continue his momentum that he's had. This looks like Erik looks like he's back. Not like the team that lost to Daniel and Matt early in the season. That feels like a lifetime ago.
It really does. Yeah, yeah, could definitely see this team. Yeah, now that he's getting quality starts, just being right back in that race for the one seed.
Yep, that's what always happens, right?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it's you kind of the highs are never as high as they are, the lows are never as low as they are. Things kind of generally go back to how they should be. And Erik is now back to where he should be. Speaking of our matchup, very quickly, the Twins and the Guardians are out of their delay, and Bailey Ober is still pitching, thank God.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts. Yeah, how are we going to pick these, and how do we do last week?
Uh, you asked too much of me. I'm kidding. All right. I picked um myself to beat Erik. You picked Erik correctly. We both picked Jake. Uh, that was wrong. We both picked you. That was right. We both picked EBO. That was wrong. I picked Andrew. You picked Yuki. You were right. I was wrong. And we both picked Ruthvik. That was right. So you won 5-1, and I won 3-3. Um, I promise I'll add these up one day.
I think I may have taken the lead, which means I will pick first.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I think that there's some interesting ones. I think Yuki will beat Connor. And I think I can't remember if Yuki has ever been the one that is the easy one we say at the start of the pick 'em. Oh yeah, Yuki will win, obviously. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Um, I think EBO will beat the Drury. I think Jake will bounce back against Alex, but this could be a sneaky way for Alex to get his first win of the year. I think Ruthvik will beat Anthony. I think Erik will beat Andrew. And a toxic week is always tough. You know what? I had good luck again last year picking myself against you. I've already streamed a home run. Shout out to Ramon Laureano. I don't know when the last time I ever streamed a home run was. It might have been like Jesse Winker in 2020. But I'm off to a good start in that way. I'm gonna pick myself.
Interesting. Yeah, well, Ramon Laureano is up again, the guy who streamed a home run for. I pray to God he hits another home run here, even though it would hurt me. Quentin Priester is through 5 innings and has only thrown 56 pitches because I think the Orioles, the last I checked, had seen the fewest pitches in the league and 1,000 less than in the first place. But who am I to judge? Speaking of judging, I was gonna try and find a creative transition with Aaron Judge, and then I realized I'm not gonna pick our matchup first. So, uh, oof. All right. Pretend I didn't do it. I think Yuki will beat Conor. That's the easy one. I think Erik will beat Andrew. Erik's on the tear. Uh, oh my God, did he do it again? No, he blew out. Never mind. Or he lined out to the pitcher.
What?
I'm not
Did he
watching.
homer again? No, he lined out to the
No, I
pitcher.
don't have it up. I have the game cast up because I only have so many screens. I think EBO will beat Daniel and Matt. I think this is where it becomes a little trickier. Because Ruthvik and Anthony are kind of the same team if you think about it.
I mean, Ruthvik's team is a better version of Anthony's team, but yeah,
Yeah. But Anthony, I think, is better pitching than Ruthvik does,
you're probably right.
but a much worse offense. I'm gonna say Anthony upsets Ruthvik.
Ooh,
And I'm gonna say Alex upsets Jake.
spicy.
Yeah, I'm feeling extra spicy this week. Feeling sporty spice. Is that a Spice Girl? Sporty Spice?
That is a Spice Girl, yes.
I forgot who is and isn't a Spice Girl. Um,
Would you believe if I told you there's a scary spice?
that's not real. That's
It
not
is
real.
real. I
What
didn't
the?
believe it either.
There's no way. Which one was Scary Spice?
The scary one.
I accidentally searched up Scardy Spice. Oh, Mel B was Scary Spice. How about that? Okay. Um, God, I feel like somewhere Anthony is judging me. Uh, um, and then okay, I will pick me to beat you. Um, Last time I had you and I pick scores for our matchup. You want to do that again? It didn't count for anything, but just curious to see how close we are. I think I either got our score correct or just missed it the last time. I picked it 7-4-1. Oh, I did win 7-4-1 the last time, so I
Hmm.
was exactly right the last time. You wanna?
I think this will be a reverse 7-4-1, and we will be tied in which will put us tied in that tie break.
All right, and I think I'll beat you 7-4-1. How about that?
All right. Very, very interesting score predictions we've made.
Yes, it is. But have fun with Cat. Uh,
Yeah, I will have fun with the cat.
I still can't believe you have a cat, and it's really throwing me off.
Yeah, he's
But
sitting right next to me while we record.
yes, you have Cat. And yeah, we will be back next week. Might be a little later because of Ruthvik's wedding. Congratulations again to Ruthvik. This is what episode 190 we are recording. So
189.
189. So 189, 189 episodes we recorded with Ruthvik as an unmarried man, and episode 190 will be the first of his married life. So
Well,
congratulations.
isn't that the thing that he's most excited for?
I think it should be. I am not like I said. If I can talk him into recording a podcast at his wedding, I think we get everybody in the room just to kind of sit around while we're at the head table there and we record.
You'll be at
Um,
the head table, fancy.
yeah, or I won't be, no, but I'm saying that we should,
Ah,
or I should, just for the podcast, obviously. Um,
I see.
yeah. Yeah, God, the podcast is more important than the wedding. Let's be honest.
All right. Well,
I'm
congrats to
kidding. I'm so kidding. He's gonna kill me.
if he hears this, he's got plenty of things to do this week that aren't
There's
listening to the
absolutely no
podcast.
way he listens to the podcast this week. Especially because by the time you get this up, it'll literally be like a day or two before his wedding. But
Yeah, I'll try and get it up tomorrow, but yeah, congrats to Ruthvik on the wedding and on the 6-0-2 start, and yeah, we will see everything's coming up Ruthvik, and we will hopefully you the listener everything's coming up you as well in your matchup this week.
Wedding singer, what you gonna do? Wedding's over, don't go home with you. Wedding singer, looks like you're not who you think you are. He finds the buffet empty.
This podcast is good.